folks, thanks for joining me. It's Jenn Bulka, memory therapist at mymemorypal.com in Silicon Valley. What time is it? It's clock time. Strangely enough, today's exercises are going to be surrounding the clock, pun intended. We are going to be talking about clock reading, clock estimating, clock math. And it turns out that clock therapy is a really big part of a lot of cognitive rehab, but it's also part of memory and cognitive fitness. So I first learned about clock therapy from a very incredible woman by the name of Barbara Arrowsmith. She has 3 schools in Canada, the Arrowsmith schools. And I first read about her in a book called The Brain That Changes Itself by Norman Doidge, which I highly recommend. Barbara Arrowsmith had what she calls 19 learning differences, and she founded her school largely based on those learning differences and how to rehab them because it changed her life at the ripe old age of 28. So I love that she was actually working on this at the age of 28. And unfortunately for her, she'd suffered a life of learning differences when there weren't a lot of curricula like this in order to be able to help your brain. She created them at UC Berkeley, I believe, with her ex-husband. And she now has an incredible program and has helped so many students. As it turns out, there is another group that has a fabulous app that I highly recommend. It used to be called Constant Therapy, and last night I learned, because we're having our American Speech and Hearing Association convention, annual convention right now, they changed their name to the Learning Corporation. So they also have a clock exercise in their app, and they're terrific as well. And I believe they have a free trial. If they don't, feel free to email me, and I will see if I can get you a discount or a trial period that's extended. The email would be mymemorypal@gmail.com. I believe they're really wonderful at working on helping people get initiated to the program, and I've worked with them before, and they've really helped a lot. Okay, let's talk about why clocks are so important for your brain. They tap many different areas of your brain, and they come together to actually create the perfect electrical storm in your brain to help grow what is called neuroplasticity. The neuron, the dendrites, these gangly little spider legs, when they connect to another set of dendrites, that's called a synapse or a connection. We have about 100 billion neurons in our brain. And when we have this electrical storm going on, when we're learning something new or we're rehearsing something over and over again to get a new skill, we are spawning neuroplasticity by all those connecting electrical, what they call synapses. And you can have about 500 to 1,000 trillion synapses in your brain. You want to keep that electrical business going because it really helps to grow the various centers in the brain. Simple as that. It taps into visuospatial parts of the brain. It taps into attention because there's a whole lot of attention you're going to have to do in the next 12 minutes. Amazing, and you're going to have to sustain it. So it really taps into a deeper level of attention, which ties right into your hippocampus, which is your memory. It really focuses on memory. You have to follow directions. You have to think about what you already know and apply it to the task at hand. It also focuses on speed. You want to try to challenge yourself. Don't always stop the video when I'm giving a direction. See if you can pay attention and keep up with the task so that you're actually able to work on your speed processing a little bit as well. Okay, so I will, at the end of the video, talk about these clocks and where to get them and why they're important in your household. But for now, let's actually just get started with a simple task. You know the things you need to be really successful in this program because, of course, I say it at the beginning of every video that I do. If you're going to dedicate the time, be purposeful about your work. Get your composition book out. Have something to write with, turn off all your notifications, seeing them visually pop up on the face of your phone, get rid of them or turn the phone over. Just make sure you take a moment, and that would be a good time to pause the video to make sure there's no auditory interruptions. Okay, you're all ready. Let's look at the clock. Can you please write down what time it is? How many minutes until 7 o'clock? Where will the big hand go if it's 7:15? Which hand do you move to represent the hour? Which hand do you move to represent the minutes? And where do they go? How much more time until 7:55? So great. If you just answered the first few questions, you're on your way with the clock exercises. If you had to pause the video and think about it for a little bit, you might want to try it again tomorrow or the day after, and try not to pause the video and go with the flow, okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's say it is 4 o'clock, and this is a getting ready for dinner, cooking dinner task. Let's say it's 4 o'clock. You know that you have to start cooking dinner at 6 in order to sit down to the table by 7:15 with your family. It takes 30 minutes to do your shopping. It takes 15 minutes to drive home. What time do you need to leave your home? Okay, if you said 5 o'clock, you got the right answer. If you said something different, perhaps you didn't use your inferential skills. It was kind of a trick question. It required you to be able to infer, well, if it takes me 15 minutes to drive one way, I better add the other 15 minutes. So you calculate a round trip. Now, I want to just take a moment and talk about why that's so important. As we age, it's super easy to miss something because of attention or to take something literally. You really want to turn on your attention to the subtext or the things that aren't there. You always want to keep on top of your game by saying, what is it that I could interpret differently? What's missing? What do I need to think about that's not there? And if you think that way, you're going to continue to do well in terms of both your social guesswork, also when you're doing prediction, and when you're making associations for memory. And we'll get to that in later videos, but inferencing is a huge, huge piece of how your cognitive fitness all works together. Okay, great. At this point, I want to share with you that the digital clocks that you may have around your house are really not helping your super aging brain, or not helping your young brain if you're learning how to plan and do things like getting ready for high school or college, and you're trying to plan out longer term schedules or project planning. You want to have an analog clock. Let's look really closely at this clock. You can see that there are little markings in between each number to denote the 1 minute. And so, of course, we see 3 plus the 1 on each number, that's 5. So you know this is a unit of 5 minutes of time. When you see it visually like this, it actually helps you learn to estimate time better, to remember time better, and certainly to do clock math better, because you get to quickly assess, oh, this is a quarter of an hour. Oh, this is a quarter of an hour. And it is really helpful. We've lived with it our whole lives, but we're losing this skill because of digital clocks. So do yourself a favor, pick up an analog watch, use your brain to do time estimation and clock math. You know you have to be at the opera by 7:30 to check in. You know it takes X amount of time to get there, X amount of time to get ready, X amount of time to put the kids to bed, X amount of time to feed the dog, whatever it is. Do the math, look at the clock, and estimate what your absolute drop dead, start getting ready now time is. That's the simple version of clock math. There are a lot of other clock math exercises. I'm going to give you a really super simple tip that you can actually do. It will require a teeny bit of ingenuity. You want to go to YouTube and put in telling time. I will actually post this link in my blog, and I will have extra questions that you can use by printing out a handout to use with this YouTube visual that's about telling time. I'm going to be adding questions for you to ask yourself so that you're actually doing clock math to help with memory exercises. You may find the blog next week. So today is the 22nd of November, getting ready for Thanksgiving. And hopefully by Monday or Tuesday before Thanksgiving, latest Thanksgiving Day, I will have a blog entitled Using Clock Math for Memory. And it will have on there the link to the telling time task. It will have a series of questions to add to the YouTube video to help you with some at-home exercises. So hopefully you'll feel fulfilled with using this. If you like what you see, I will send you more. So always do your comments. We like this exercise. We understand it taps so many cognitive areas in the brain, and we'd like more of it. I'm happy to give you free worksheets. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up if you would, please. It helps to raise my video visibility on YouTube to a higher level in the YouTube queue. So yeah, so go out. Oh, last but not least, go to Amazon and buy yourself 1, 2, maybe 3 kitchen clock, bedroom clock, family room clock. On Amazon, these are about $9.5. They don't tick, which is wonderful. Make sure you get the ones that are quartz that do not tick, because otherwise the ticking can drive you crazy. And start to pay attention to the analog world again. What a switch, right? Okay, folks, thanks for listening. My name is Jenn Bulka, memory therapist at My Memory Pal in Silicon Valley. Please feel free, again, to send any comments. I hope you enjoyed the curriculum today, and I also want to tell you there are 2 ways to get to the blog. One is to go to mymemorypal.com and sign up for the blog. It's all over the homepage. You will need to look for the link verification in your inbox, which will probably be in your spam box until you move it to the inbox. The second way is to go to improveyourmemory.blog and sign up. Again, you will have to look for that link. Okay, hope the exercises were helpful for you today. Good sailing, keep the practice up, and let me know if you want more worksheets. Have a happy Thanksgiving.